Originally from Zimbabwe, got to the United States in 2000. I was an international student. I had no plans of sticking around. I was in school studying environmental sciences. Plan was to go back to Southern Africa, work for a non-governmental organization. None of that happened. As of almost a year and a half ago, I'm the president and CEO of QLI. 26 years later, almost, I'm still there, and we have 455 amazing team members.
Wow.
Who come together and make sure that this work that we set out to do comes to fruition. We have people coming in from 48 states around the country. We're considered a national center of excellence right here in Omaha, Nebraska. And so people are coming to Omaha for this rehab, and 90% of the people that we're serving are going home. Just last year, we served only 3% of Nebraskans. That's a broken system. So what did we do? We worked with our legislative team. We worked with the governor. We worked with senators, our Senate body, with the DHHS committee. And as of last month, the governor just signed a bill that said that we're going back to the way that it was designed to be. So those are challenges, but challenges create opportunities to work together and bring some things together to say, we're gonna serve the people we were designed to serve the best. That's one of the challenges that we've had, is this idea of insurances only paying for a fraction of what people truly need. So when we bring people to QLI from around the country, we're not bringing in people and saying, okay, the last day that you're covered, you have to be out. What we've seen is this opportunity then to say, hey, how do we make sure that even though they get their benefits cut, we figure out how to pay for this. So just last year, out of our own revenue that we've said, okay, let's figure out in our operating revenue, we were able to pay about $1.6 million towards people to say, let's take care of individuals. Because we're not just letting you just go back home after insurance denies. So $1.6 million unfunded that we said we'll take care of. And so we need people to come together to help us continue to close that gap. Working at QLI, people don't make lemons into lemonade, they make it into lemon meringue pie. So it's like, hey, listen, my life has been changed so adversely. We're not talking about small tweaks to just make this adjustment in life. I have to make something very complex out of something that is tragedy. And I'm wearing a Hope Dealer shirt right now, and that's what we do. We facilitate neuroplasticity, which is learning, but then we're talking about dealing hope every single day. And I always tell people that hope without action is pretty much like a seed without being planted.
Right.
It's not gonna have any roots, it's not gonna have any fruit, and you'll not have anything to harvest afterwards. And so whether it's that lemon seed that you put down and then you get that tree later, that's what hope is.
What's up, everyone? We're back with another episode of When Life Gives You Lemons podcast. I'm your host, Ty Davis, joined today by special guest, Tinashe Mahupete. Nash, thank you for joining us today.
It's a pleasure and honor, Ty. Good to be here.
Nash, do you want to start by giving us just a little bit about your background, kind of where you're from, what you do?
Well, originally from Zimbabwe, got to the United States in 2000. I was an international student. I got here April 18th, year 2000. It's the same day as Zimbabwe's independence in 1980. So 2000, made it over here, going to school. I had no plans of sticking around. I was in school studying environmental sciences. Plan was to go back to Southern Africa, work for a non-governmental organization. None of that happened.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about what actually happened whenever you got here?
Yeah, what actually happened. So when I first got here, I arrived on the 18th of April. By the 20-something, I think it was the 24th or something like that of April, I was working at Pizza Hut on 60th and Ames Cutboard. I needed a job very quickly because my parents sent me here to go to school. The bank account they showed was enough to get me through school, but it was not the amount, the money that was meant to get me through school. So they said, go out there, figure it out. And so I started working immediately. After that, I was getting closer to summer, and so I was like, okay, I needed to get a job that I could work in the evenings and also go to school during the day. So I found a place called QLI. It's in Omaha, and it's what I ended up discovering the best places to work in the city, if not in the country, because, and I say that not just subjectively, it is objectively. 8 out of 8 times that we've entered the best places to work in Omaha, we'd be number one. So found a place with great culture. I started off as a caregiver. We have individuals that we're helping get back to life. People who have faced and had the most traumatic moments in their lives, brain injuries, spinal cord injuries, other neurological conditions, and they have had a very traumatic experience. And we're over there at the greatest point of need to help them show that they're still worth it. Life is still worth it, and there's a purpose. They're built for a purpose, and they have to end up getting out there and discovering what that purpose that they're going to live is. And so that's the space that we fill at QLI, and so that was where I started.
Wow.
In 2000.
That's really, really cool. What is your role now with the company? Like, what do you do now?
Well, 26 years later, almost, I'm still there, and I am, as of almost a year and a half ago, am the president and CEO of QLI. We have 455 amazing team members who come together and make sure that this work that we set out to do sees and comes to fruition. And so it's amazing to have and be surrounded by so many amazing, talented people committed to just the people that we have serving over there. We're serving about 300 individuals per year as they come in. We have several levels of care. We have a long-term care where that's home for individuals. That's 73 beds. We have an assisted living. That's 52 apartments. And then we have 60 beds on our rehab campus. And this is where people are coming in for a very short amount of time. We have people coming in from 48 states around the country. We're considered a national center of excellence right here in Omaha, Nebraska. And so people are coming to Omaha for this rehab. And 90% of the people that we're serving are going home. This is 90% of the people that we're serving would have probably ended up in a skilled nursing facility, would have had gone maybe home, but needed a lot more support. And so people are leaving very changed, very positively changed and impacted.
Wow, that's super, super cool. Just the impact that you have around Omaha and then around the whole country is just unbelievable. And I think that's, just a testament to what you guys have kind of built over there. And you mentioned you've been with them almost 26 years. What's the reason that you've kind of decided to stick with them for that long? QLI, obviously, you've kind of grown throughout the company, but what has kind of meant the most to you within that company?
Well, it's what I get to do. I get to, with my new role, create an environment where people, one, we create this sense of belief in individuals, where people live their potential, at the darkest moments and times have hope. And that's not just for the people that we're serving over there. When I say who do we work for and who do you serve to our team members when they start at QLI, we're talking about the clients and residents, their families, funding sources, our community, and even each other's team members. Right. And so what I got to receive 26 years ago, as I was not the most stellar team member, I'll tell you that. I have a lot of conference forms and write-ups in my file, mostly on attendance and a few things, because I had to have a second job. But it was a lot of people who believed in me. So it's not just we believe in the people that we're serving and working with from the part of the rehab side. It's believing in each other. And so I have stayed there because people saw me. So I always share the story about my grandmother, who has a farm who had a farm in Zimbabwe. And what was different for my grandmother, a widow, working and having this farm in rural Zimbabwe, was the farm workers that came out of that place. We saw them as family because of how my grandmother set it up. We used to call him uncle, we used to call him big brother, we used to call him sister. And I saw how that was transformative. They treated that farm as if it was their own. There was ownership. There was this sense of camaraderie. There was the sense of, I'm not a worker here. I'm part of something special happening. And so when I left Zimbabwe, I thought that's what every space in the world should be like, because we saw what other farms were like, people mistreated and things like that. And so even in our household, that was something that, my parents, they're very spiritual and faithful in so many ways, and they raised us to believe, that the sense of love your neighbor, and so who is your neighbor, and so that's the part that any single person that you have to see coming into your world, that's your neighbor. And so we see that even at QLI. So that's a special thing about what I've seen, and that's probably back to your earlier question as well. Why have I stayed over there is because people saw me, this young Zimbabwean kid, with a funny accent, and and they accepted him and said, "Hey, we can have you grow in this space." And up to this day, we have so many individuals who have worked at QLI, come from other countries. We probably per capita have probably a lot of foreign-born individuals, and it's like a United Nations of so many ways at QLI, doing some special things. So love the people I work with, love the environment and the acceptance that we have for other skills and talents, and really bring the best out of each other. So it's very special.
Yeah, that sounds very, very special. And it's kind of crazy what you can do when you build a family-like culture around a company, or I'm relating it back to my team. Like when you have a family-like culture around you, it's kind of crazy when you put your mind to something, like you're going to kind of accomplish it. So I think that's really, really cool and special. And I hope to come check you guys out and just kind of see what you guys have building over there. And throughout your tenure with the company, what has been some challenges that you have personally faced, the company's faced in general, and how have you kind of overcame those?
Several things. Good question, and would love to have you over there. I know you play for Creighton. We've traditionally hosted the Creighton basketball players at QLI. So the last couple of years, I think it didn't fall too well on the calendar, because that's the time that you guys are usually in Hawaii or something playing a tournament over there. So would love to have you back over on our campus. Your question was challenges. Several, many. Adversity is an opportunity in its own. So we started off, QLI was started off by a group of families that were saying, I'd rather outlive my child. That's twisted, right? Outlive my child, because there's no other place for them that can take care of them. That's who started QLI. It was a dream in 1985 to get together and get QLI to be. 1990, we opened our doors. So 36 years later, we've been able to figure out, and it hasn't just been linear to say, okay, we've got this dream, we've got people, and let's get this concept together. No, it's been challenge after challenge, but through those challenges, we've been able to get opportunities to figure out how to bring people together. So the first few things that happened then was we had business leaders in Omaha, we had civic leaders, our legislative leaders in Lincoln came together and said, let's solve this problem, right? Fast forward to what we ended up having. In 2018, we went to what they called managed care organizations, where Medicaid was not administering the state dollars anymore. DHHS were not administering the state dollars anymore. It was insurance companies. And so we saw a drop from people getting rehab on our campus, on our rehab campus. It dropped from what was about 25% of people getting services were on Nebraska Medicaid. So you're talking about Nebraskans in the most critical need of time. Yeah. That's who we're serving. 25% of the people coming to QLI. Just last year, we served only 3% of Nebraskans. That's a broken system. So what did we do? We worked with our legislative team. We worked with the governor. We worked with our senators, our Senate body, with the DHHS committee. And as of last month, the governor just signed a bill that said that we're going back to the way that it was designed to be. So those are challenges, but challenges create opportunities to work together and bring some things together to say, we're going to serve the people we were designed to serve the best. That's one of the challenges that we've had, is this idea of insurances only paying for a fraction of what people truly need. So when we bring people to QLI from around the country, we're not bringing in people and saying, okay, the last day that you're covered, you have to be out, right? And what we've seen is this opportunity then to say, hey, how do we make sure that even though they get their benefits cut, we figure out how to pay for this? So just last year, we out of our own revenue that we've said, okay, let's figure out in our operating revenue, we were able to pay about $1.6 million towards people to say,
that's
let's
so
take
cool.
care of individuals. Because we're not just letting you just go back home after insurance denies. So $1.6 million unfunded that we said we will take care of. And so we need people to come together to help us continue to close that gap because people still need our services.
Right.
90% of the people we serve go home. That's huge. So more challenges, and opportunities are within some of the workforce challenges, that we have. Omaha sucks in terms of public transport. You know that. If you don't live, people live closely to where they probably work. There's no public transport or anything. What we were able to create over the last few years is something where we take people from their home, door to door, to QLI for something that is slightly more expensive than the bus, but cheaper than Uber, way cheaper than Uber. And so we're taking our team members to and from work if they can't make it. So you're going as far as Blair, South Omaha, Fort Calhoun, Millard, Gretna, making sure that people get to work at the best place in Omaha, regardless of where you are in this socioeconomic, in the socioeconomic scale. So those are all things that we have to continue to do. And so challenges after challenges after challenges come up, and we say we're not going to just fold over and let this happen. We say we're going to rise above that and be the best employer. So that is one of the biggest things that I have as a dream in this time is we are definitely the best place to get rehab in the country. So that's why people are coming to Omaha, Nebraska. And we are going to match that and be the best employer in the country, in the city, definitely in the country. So we're going to do some special things over the next few years to make sure that people who are helping live our mission and get people's lives back home are able to have a great living, make a great living working at QLI.
Yeah,
that is a promise.
That's amazing. What is your next step of growth for the company? Is that what it is, or do you have another vision in your mind of what you think the next step for the company is?
Several things. That's a good question. Everything starts with this vision cast, but then you got to start somewhere, right? So one of the things that we have right now is we're currently within a $22 million capital campaign. Again, we serve people from an hour away from Omaha, and a lot of times, if you have a loved one of yours that's got this spinal cord injury or brain injury, I don't know if you've had anyone in your life who's had experienced anything like that, a traumatic injury, and you have to make a choice to say, am I going to leave my home and go there and figure out where I live, while they're going through rehab? Because we don't just treat the person who's injured, we're treating the family unit as well. And so in 2014, we were able to build a family housing called the Suzanne Scott Family Housing at QLI. And so we are able to get that stood up and going. Around that time, we were serving each year over year, about 15 states a year. Now we're serving over 30-something states a year, total of 48, but over 30-something, 35 states a year. So you're talking about a wider reach and people coming from further out. And with us now serving more Nebraskans, we're going to need more people to have a place. We're going to have more people to have a place to stay. So we have part of this capital campaign is to add 24 units where people can stay when their loved ones are going through rehab, and they can experience that process as well. And that does not come cheap because what we have is people come in for a suggested donation of $25. I don't know where you stay in a hotel anywhere for $25, but it's a suggested donation, and some people can stay and pay, and other people can't afford it because the breadwinner is the person who's got that injury, or they just had other resources that they have to put towards medical bills. So we are saying we're going to add 24 more units where people can stay, and we won't have to turn anyone away. So that's one of the biggest things that we have going on. The other thing is we bought what was the former Madonna School right adjacent to our campus. We just bought the building, and we're going to do some things that's going to be very, very different. We have programs that we already have on our campus, but those we've already outgrown our amenities that we already have on our campus. On our 65 acres, we've used about 35 of them, and now that we've acquired this building, there'll be a gym within there. We have something that is akin to CrossFit. It's called GritFit that we've branded, where people can do adaptive sports. You're talking about somebody in a power chair, in a manual chair, doing a pull up with their chair. Out of the people that we've pretty much helped over the years, we've had 2 people who have competed in the Olympics. One person is on the rugby Team USA team.
Cool.
And so we are talking about people who were competitive and looking to get back into that, or some people who are just like, hey, I just want to exercise and stay healthy.
Right.
And so that's something that we've created. We also are an affiliate of something called Love Your Brain Yoga, something that was started by a snowboarder by the name of Kevin Pierce out of Colorado. And he had a brain injury and couldn't get back to skiing, but then created this affiliate called Love Your Brain Yoga. So we have a yoga studio we're going to put over there. We're going to have common spaces for people who are coming to our program and also graduating from our program can continue to have. Because I know you said you're from Alabama. There's people who come from all over the United States. Like I said, 48 states we're serving. When they've come to Omaha and then they go back to their communities, a lot of them are finding it lonely. And they're saying, I don't have my people around me. And so we've seen a lot of people relocate to Omaha to make that home. And so we're talking about those individuals having a space for them, by them, in so many ways.
Wow. Y'all are clearly growing very rapidly and adding all these new amenities and cool things like the yoga studio, like you mentioned, and the gym and all that good stuff. Have you had a banking partner who has helped you guys throughout this process, or even throughout just the growth of QLI in general?
I know I'm on a Dayspring a podcast over here, but shout out to a few banks that we've worked with. Definitely, we've had relationships with several banks in the Omaha area. One of the bigger ones that we've had is Security National Bank. The other one is Pinnacle Bank. Between the Landons and the Dinsdales, they've been very supportive of the work that we're doing. We also have, she's now at Union Bank, UBT, and Sam Mosser has been a great partner of QLI in so many ways. We have a lot of financial partners that we've been able to work with and get us to where we are right now. But we're always looking at others as well. So there's a plug for Dayspring. Like, hey, Dayspring's doing some good things over here.
Yeah.
Well, we'd love to meet them.
Well, yeah. In what areas do you feel like banks can keep helping people like you guys be more successful?
So many ways. It's not just in the direct role of being a lender, but when you think of, we just got connected to an organization called Top Step, and they do trading, and so think of someone who, I know you're a finance major, so maybe a little different, right? Because that's not linear for you. That's linear for you. But think of somebody who had a spinal cord injury,
right?
And they were an arborist, cutting trees. They worked with their hands, and now they're like, I can't do that anymore. I've got a spinal cord injury. I can't get up on a tree. But Top Step, we've had conversations with them to say, hey, can you teach people how to trade? And then they'll be able to get something back to the part of, I can get back to work and life and some of those things. So the partnerships are galore. It's not just the transactional things. It's about relationship and then bringing those relationships within so that we can make them richer.
Wow, that's really cool. Now that we're starting to kind of conclude the episode, one question that we like to ask all of our guests is, what is that lemon that you kind of have turned into lemonade in either in your career, personal life? What do you think is that lemon that's turned into lemonade?
Well, personally, I'd say that, there's been lemons into lemonade, right? I came from Zimbabwe, faced challenges when it comes to paying double tuition and challenges with not being able to, figure out making rent and car payment, or sometimes not going with car insurance or health insurance just so that I could get through and get by life. But I can tell you something from the part of working at QLI, people don't make lemons into lemonade. They make it into lemon meringue pie. So it's like, hey,
That's good
listen,
stuff.
my life has been changed so adversely. We're not talking about small tweaks to just make this adjustment in life. I have to make something very complex out of something that is tragedy. And I'm wearing a Hope Dealer shirt right now, and that's what we do. Is we facilitate neuroplasticity, which is learning, but then we're talking about dealing hope every single day. And I always tell people that hope without action is pretty much like a seed without being planted.
Right.
It's not going to have any roots. It's not going to have any fruit, and you'll not have anything to harvest afterwards. And so whether it's that lemon seed that you put down and then you get that tree later, that's what hope is. It's you have to plant it, and it has to have action. So I'd call on to, first of all, thank you for Dayspring Bank hosting this space and having the opportunity to have dialogue like this. But also, I call on to our partners around the city to activate whatever, not just for QLI,
Right.
but for anything that they feel like has to change. They need to step up and say, "I'm willing to push the envelope and transform the space around me." Yeah. Lemon into lemonades or lemon meringue pie, whatever it is. Let's make it.
That's awesome. You guys' story, your story is just so kind of touching and life changing. That's
Thank you.
Really, really cool. So what we like to do to kind of wrap up is we brought you a little Dayspring lemonade here.
Yes, sir.
I want you to try it. Let me know what you think. You got some little watermelon, orange, apple, lemon in it. Let me know what you think.
Let's check it out. Dayspring lemonade. I like the blend. All these things I can jive. I can jive with over here. Watermelon, orange, apple, lemon.
Probably could taste them all, huh?
I like the lemon.
Yeah. Lemonade,
A little
so that's good.
A little bit. It's not overly powering, but I taste that apple as well at the back of the. It doesn't have bite.
Aftertaste. The aftertaste, yeah.
It's good. I love it. I love it.
10 out of 10?
I'll give it a 9.25.
All right. That's good. That's good.
I like it.
But Nash, thank you so much for joining us today. I really got to enjoy just learning kind of about your background and everything that you've kind of gone through. And we appreciate you joining us.
Ty Davis, thanks for hosting me today. Yeah. It's been an honor, a pleasure. I'll see you on the other side.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you to everyone for joining today, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys.